Hey everybody, how's it going? So today I'm going to be focusing on my new to me 2022 Honda CRF150R. I picked this up from a friend for a really good deal, and if you didn't catch the last video on my 150 saga, I tore the engine out of that bike, went through it to see what went wrong, and the rod actually snapped, which created some catastrophic damage, destroyed the cases. So we're going to be transplanting this engine into that bike. But before I just shove it in there, I'm going to be putting my stage 2 cam in this and then checking the valves, doing a little bit of maintenance because I have a race on Friday. There we go. Alright, I'm going to open up the valve cover here, set it to top dead center, and check the valves. I do have a whole video on checking and adjusting the valves, so I'm not going to go through everything on this, but just want to make sure they're good before we send it at the race. Nice looking plug. God, that was stuck on there. Alright, I've got the engine at top dead center. The exhaust valves are supposed to be 0.26 millimeters. 0.25 sneaks in there nicely. Those are in spec. It's also plus or minus 0.03 on the measurements here. The intakes are 0.16. I will link the valve adjustment video that I have below or up above. I'm not sure yet. All right, 0.15 is tight. 0.13 is the bottom of the spec. That feels pretty good. So I'd say this one's basically 0.13, so right at the bottom of spec. This one's probably a 0.14, so 0.14, 0.13, all within spec, which is nice. Now I'm gonna totally mess that up by putting a cam in it. Or not, I don't know. I do like just a quick visual mark on a couple places. It's easier to get the cam back on in position. Alright, I'm going to try and remove the cam with the rocker arms in place. I think you're supposed to remove them. Well, let's see if we can get away with it. There's a little C-clip right in here. or snap ring, rather. Oh, got it. So here's our stock cam. Let me go grab my stage 2. Yeah, I should have really just pulled off the cam carrier for that. Let's chalk that up as a do as I say, not as I do. Alright, got my stage 2 cam here with the lobes facing away from the exhaust. Let's give her a couple taps here. A little bit of Loctite on these dudes. I'm going to swap out the OEM cam chain tensioner with a Tokyo Mods manual cam chain tensioner. Kind of like the fact that it's not going to move once you lock it down, and it's one less thing to worry about. Okay, so I spun the engine over twice and then checked the valves again. They're all still within spec. Everything is torqued on the cam and the cam carrier. We've got the tensioner installed and set so that it's got 2 millimeters of preload on there. I think the only thing I've got to do now is slam the valve cover back on, put the spark plug back in, and then we can move on to an oil change. Get this drain plug off. I wonder if this is the original oil. I don't see anything super alarming. Now let's drain the other side. Got the drain bolts installed and safety wired, and I'm going to add about 590 cc's to the engine oil side here because we did a filter change. I also went ahead and I drilled the dipstick cap so that I can safety wire this. Alright, the transmission side here gets about 570 cc's after draining. Total capacity of 650, which is right here. We'll crack this open, and once oil starts running out, when the engine's level, you're at capacity. I can just see it crawling down the threads now, so we're gonna seal that back up. It does take quite some time to make it out of there, so if you add too much, it'll just come pouring out for a while. Sweet, so we got the stage 2 cam in there, we got a nice oil change, new filter, and now I gotta get this into my other bike. Oh, it would help if the coil was actually seated. And that's perfect timing for the swap. I've got a practice day on Friday with a couple buddies and then the race on Saturday. It's going to be an absolute blast. It's the end of racing for this year, and I'm glad I got the 150R back in fighting form. I'll see you at practice and on race day.